Derek, I want to talk to you obviously about Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
2 fights you had with him.
Yes.
The first one was fairly lively, especially the press conference to announce it. Do you remember that when you actually when you had your special escorts to bring it to the ring, to bring it to the table?
Yeah, we were young.
Yeah.
Yeah, naive.
You were babies then, the pair of you.
I know we were. Good old days.
Well, when you first came out in the first fight with him, the first round, what was your impression straight away?
I think, you know what? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Everything for me from that build-up, not even the build-up for the fight. I mean, like, you know, I was a Commonwealth champion, British champion, and then suddenly I'm fighting on Hand Show, knowing that I was signed to one of the biggest promoters at the time. So that was like messing my head up, you know. And my training camp didn't really go well. You know, I was just. I should say this, I had bad management at the time, and Tyson had good management. You know, they knew exactly what they wanted, they knew exactly where they were going. And my management was just more like, oh, you got to fight next week, that's your day, that's it. And then, do you understand?
Very much so.
Yeah, so it was like, you know what, so it was one of those things which was like, you know, played up on my head and stuff like that. And then when I asked for sparring, they would not get me sparring. It was just all madness, you know. And
it's got to be proper, hasn't it?
yeah, it had to be proper.
Well, especially when you're the champion.
Yeah, but it was not proper for me, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Was Tyson better?
Yes.
Than you thought in the first? Like, did he surprise you how good he was?
He surprised me with his hands.
Speed.
Yeah. He had speed for a big guy. It was no power punches he had. He had to just annoy you, basically. Yeah. By the time you're trying to set and chuck, he annoys you. So, but when you close the gap down, he steps back, but he's still enriched by hitting you because he's got long arms. Yeah.
So he was smarter than you expected.
Yeah.
And the arm. I find that amazing, you know, John. I've spoken to a lot of people over the years that have fought Tyson, and we'll meet a few of them on this bus. Don't get me wrong, and people that have been around him. And I'm always amazed when people fight him and they say, "Well, he's smarter than I thought. He's got longer reach than I thought." And I always think. Not you, Dale, because you were his first test in some ways, right? You were his first test, so you're the start of it. But anybody after you that says, I was surprised by how fast he was, and I was surprised by how smart he was, and I was surprised by his reach, they're crazy. They should be listening to the testimony of people like Derek, John.
The thing is with Tyson, he's a very, very intelligent man in that ring and out the ring, you know, and we work on mindset as much as ability to box in the ring, because the two go together. You can have all the ability in the world, but if you haven't got the brains to back it up and execute them plans, you're not going to go very far.
Can he ever overthink it, John?
No, he never does. He won't never overthink nothing, because that's what he does best, thinking. It's like all the fights he goes, he watches them, he knows instantly what he's got to do, and he can switch his game up in the ring as it goes, as the round plays out. He just does so much different stuff, and that's why he's a champion, you know, because he's fleet-footed. You know, now he's sitting down more on his shots, so he's a power puncher now. Like, look at the state of Deontay Wilder, you know, so he can punch. But let me tell you, with the mindset Tyson's got and the brains he's got, he can work people out as he's fighting them, and not a lot of people can do that.
So it's an adaptable plan as he goes through. It can be fluid.
He's like that, buff, 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 like playing cards.
Now, Derek, I happen to be, I worked as an MC when you and Tyson got together here in Manchester as part of the publicity, you remember, for the second fight.
Yeah.
And we had that outdoor press conference, and I was somehow meant to give you a part. And it got a bit tasty.
I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, well, I haven't, because I got pushed all over the place. I've still got the bruises on my shoulders. That was a lot of fun, that. In the build-up to the second fight, could you sense that he was a different man, or you were a different man as well, that you were no longer babies, you were now men? In the build up to the second one.
I'm gonna try and remember, but you know what? It's been so many builds up I've done in my career. 40.
So many tables I've thrown.
42 fights I've had so far.
Wow.
And it's that one in Manchester.
It was meant to be in Manchester. It ended up being in London.
In London at the
XL.
No, it was not the XL.
It was the XL.
No, the fight was in the XL, but the press conference was in Grosvenor Square.
One of the press conferences was in the sports bar downstairs, where everyone thought you were going to attack each other, and you ended up having a cup of tea and shaking hands and having a cup of tea.
Yeah, I remember that day. That's when he didn't say anything.
Yeah. No, it wasn't when he came with the mark.
No, that was it.
Was that one?
Yeah, it was that one.
As you say, Dale, let me ask you this, okay? You've had 42 fights. I calculate about 22, maybe even more of them have been big fights or title fights or main events, even if it wasn't a title. You've got another big one coming up, a rematch with Joseph Parker.
Yes, sir.
In December. So let's say over half of your fights have been big fights.
Yeah.
How many press conferences do you think you've been at? And I understand you can't remember all of them. What would you say you've been at? 50, 60?
All of them. I've been to every press conference.
What's your favourite press conference, Derek?
My favourite?
It's better than your favourite fight. You know what
I
odds I'm looking for, John? I want the table flying conference. That's what I want.
I think I should pull a top 10 press conference.
Of course you should, Derek. A top 10, man.
I know.
Or top 5 even.
Yeah, top 5.
Top 3 will do.
I think Vitaly was one.
Tick. I'm going to agree with you on that one. How about Vlad? You know, people don't know about people now. Some of the people now don't know that you were 48 hours away from beating Vlad for the world title. And Manny Stewart, let's get this right. Let's clear the air. Manny Stewart pulled him out. And you spoke to me on the Thursday night, and the weigh-in was the next day.
Yeah.
You said to me, Steve, he's going to pull out. I said, Derek, you've had the main press conference, and he ended up pulling out like you predicted. He wouldn't fight you, Vlad.
No, because we did a public workout, and Emmanuel Stewart arrived. And he arrived early to see me, and he saw me, and then when I got up, I saw him talking to Vladimir in the corner, and then something in my heart has dropped.
You know what they are.
True story.
Yeah.
Isn't it a true story, this, John?
It will be,
Yeah.
2010, he called me.
And then Vegas knew before I did.
Yeah.
And then I called him and it's not happening. And I told him I started packing. Hello.
But you put up a hell of a fight with his brother, didn't you, Vitaly? Great fight.
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed because I wasted like 3 months training for that fight.
Well, I'll tell you this much. We heard on the grapevine that Vlad didn't want it with you.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. He didn't fancy it. That was the truth.
Well, he didn't fancy it with Tyson. He got pushed into a hole where he had to.
Yeah. He'd pulled out of that one.
He never fancied Tyson.
Well, look what they did over there with the ring and the gloves and the bandages. That's not people who want to fight fair, is it?
It's always a dodgy sport. We love this game, but it's so dodgy sometimes.
You know
there's so much nonsense in this game.
But again, it's up to us, what's not fighting, to sort all them problems out, isn't it?
You can't know.
But John, there's so many.
You don't fight, because like I said to him in the 11th hour, there was 50,000 people there, was going to the ring, and I said, hang on, we've not seen him wrap his hands up. Your brother's been sat here with us all night, we want to see him wrap. Oh no, we're ready. I said, well, I tell you what, you go meet him yourself, because we're going home. And he come at the back of me and he said, look, I said, we're going home, mate.
This was in the dressing room on the night.
5 minutes before the ring walk, I said, if I can't watch him wrap his hands, I said, mate, we are going home. If my man can't go in there, we're going home. I said, right, it's off. And they followed me and called me in a corner. He said, okay, yeah, we'll sort it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it went to. But you've got to say, you've got to let your no be known, your yes be yes. And if you're going for the money, you'll do no good. You'll fail your man.
Yeah.
If it's about the money, you'll fail your man.
Most people do that.
They do, because they don't love them enough. They don't admire what they do enough.
Best stadium in the world.
Oh, you know, Derek's happy. Look, you're a United fan, though.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Theatre of dreams.
You've got to think more of your fighter than what you have at a paycheck at the end of it. If you're in it for the money, which they all are, you got a problem. That's the biggest issue. But it's a family thing with us, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I go on all the time at Tyson. You know what? You know, it's got to be right, hasn't it? Because your corner let you down as of Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know, it's there to blame, not AJ. You know, but listen, don't pay them, innit? Suspend all the paychecks.
So, Bill, you lost the second fight. How's your relationship with Tyson been over the last 4 or 5 years? Have you been around him? Have you spent much time with him?
I don't spend much time with him, but with text.
So you stay in touch?
We stay in touch. You know, how you doing? I'm okay. How have you been? And stuff like that. And once in a while when I speak, I call him. Yeah. You know.
Thanks a lot, Derek.
Yeah, I know he does. That's what I'm getting at. I know he does.
And I know
he always has.
I know at the end of the day, he'll close the show with this man.
That's what he keeps saying.
He will.
What do you think?
That's if he's up for it.
What do you think when he keeps talking about that? You know, he's had you as his last fight for about 4 years now. He said, "Don't worry, my last fight's going to be Derek Boy Chisora, who, by the way, let's get it right, though. I'm not just saying this because you're here.
Yeah.
You fought for the world title like 10 years ago. You should have had a crack. There's been half a dozen people who have had a crack at one of the belts without you. So what about his last fight will be against you? What say you, Derek Boy Chisora?
Well, listen, it'll be a great fight in Manchester. Me and him, you know, great build-up as well. Yeah, we're a great build-up. But you know what? He loves fighting. I love fighting. He loves boxing. I love boxing. We love the game.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, the day will come when we'll both have to hang our gloves up, and when that day comes, the fight will happen.
Well, let's just say, if the timing's right,
When the timing is when the timing is right.
You don't know. You can't see around the next corner, can you?
In our game, you have no idea what's around the next corner.
Oh, you don't.
Derek, how are you looking at Tyson against Deontay Wilder, the third fight? What's your gut feeling for that fight as we get closer and closer to the first bell?
It's going to be a cracking fight because I know for a fact that Deontay is going to come because he's going to want to prove something big time from the get-go. He's going to want to prove something, and as Tyson's dad said, he's going to have to adjust. At a split second, every second he's gonna have to adjust. But I see the outcome the same because I think Tyson's gonna bully him again. You know, lean on him, punch him. You know, it's that reach again, that hand reach. Because most people don't understand when you fight with Tyson, when you close the gap down on him, he's gonna bump you, he's gonna hit you, and when he moves one step back, he's still in reach to hit you because that hand reach. And I see, you know what? I put a knockout in the 10th round.
You do?
Yeah.
John, could you, if you didn't know Tyson Fury, could you train Deontay Wilder to beat Tyson Fury in a rematch? If you didn't know Tyson Fury, if he wasn't your son.
No.
Okay.
Because
it's interesting.
He could fight Deontay Wilder now 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
He beat him 10 times.
Yeah.
It's easier this time, because I'll tell you why. The brains has gone out of his job.
Yeah.
That Mark Breland, he was an excellent trainer.
He was the smart
world champion. He's a smart guy. He's out the camp now. The one he's got now, this other fella, Malik Scott, he's in it for the future.
Derek knows Malik.
He's in it for the money. You know, he's making a big thing of it. I do believe this time they will overthink it. It'll be easy for Tyson. And Tyson now is a better fighter than what he was then. I've been watching him spar, mate. Believe me. I don't think he's got prayer. Wow. He's a better fighter now than what he was when he fought him the second time.
More determined.
He's settled into that cronk thing like a duck to water. He's banging hard. You know, you can ask his sparring partners. He's quick. He's awkward. His mindset's second to none. And the main ingredient I can't discuss on here, but will sort the job out proper, but he's got it in hand. Deontay Wilder has not got a prayer. I'm going to put me out on it.
John,
and it's over
for
before 4-8 over.
Oh, I put 10.
If he gets it, won't be. But I've said 8.
Yeah.
But I think it could be a lot earlier.
It's generally about.
He hasn't got a body, the natural body, so he's not built like him.
No,
he's not built like Joshua.
No.
He's a skinny dude.
Yes.
And those men buckle under severe, constant pressure. And Tyson's weighing the 19 stone up mark again, you know, and his belief
happy
is
there,
so high.
He's comfortable that way.
You know,
happy there.
He said, honestly, I am no more bothered about this fight than flying in the air. He said, this man is no threat at all unless I go to sleep on the job. He's got to avoid one thing, the fast shots.
Yeah.
You know, but keep them backed up, keep them teared in, keep them offset. What can you do?
Yeah.
If I've got a 12 bore gun, if I want to shoot him, I've got to cock it and aim it. I can't just pick it up and shoot it because I'll miss him.
Yeah.
That's what
Just
Wilder's
gotta
got to do.
straight away.
He's just going to let the shots go. He won't know where they're going. But Tyson's seen them, kid. Whoa, listen. No chance at all, Wilder. He's not.
John, you're going to go and watch Derek against Joseph Parker if you can?
Absolutely. Is he in this country?
Manchester.
That's the deal.
I'll come to North again. I'm Manchester again.
Do you know this fella? I'm telling you. He's got balls like King Kong. He comes forward and I can see him now knocking on a door. Big things going to happen for him now, especially what happened on Saturday night, because that's improved your situation no end. Because look what you did with Usyk.
Yeah.
You beat Usyk, pal. You beat him.
Thank you.
And at ringside, Del, and I was in the venue for another 90 minutes afterwards. I don't need to tell you this to inflate your ego. All people kept saying was, Derek knew how to do it. Derek showed the way. Derek was pushing him. Derek was making him worry. Derek was forcing him. That's all people kept saying. You were getting so much praise.
Yeah, you know, but it's a price of. It's, you know what upsets me most is that I boxed him. They told me I lost the fight. I boxed Joseph Parker. They told me I lost the fight. You know, I boxed Robert Elenius. They told me I lost the fight.
Dillian White first fight.
You know, things like that. They don't want me in the game. But you know what we do? We carry on.
Carry on.
We carry on.
When one door closes, another one's going to open. In your case,
Exactly.
he can't ignore you because you've come too far. He's had 2 great performances from the top guys, Parker and the new champion.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we're going to look at.
This is difficult, but I will not slow down. I will not slow down. Me slowing down, it's the day I hang up the gloves. As long as I got the gloves on, I'm carrying on.
What you got to do now, though, at your time of life, how old are you now? 36?
37.
37.
Yeah.
Box and train smart.
Yeah.
He does. He lives and eats and trains better now than he ever did.
Train to your age and according to what you've done and your experience.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Because you've
That's
got a load
exactly what Dave Cottle said.
There you go, then.
That's
God
it.
bless Dave Cottle.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. So, but there's some other guys who are in the different shoes than myself. Dylan White.
Yeah.
Yes. How many days now is he waiting?
Well, I mean, has he been waiting about 1,200 in total. 1,000, then he had 100 days off. Now it's another 200. Over 1,200 days with a promise of a title fight.
I honestly think, get Wilder out of the way, Tyson take him next. He'll take him before
Yeah, he
Christmas.
should. He should. You should. I think.
But now that Joshua's out of the way for a minute, John.
I don't look after Tyson's managerial things. I don't do that. But what Tyson, if he says it,
He's
he'll follow
gonna
it
do-
through.
yeah, I know.
You know him, don't you?
Yeah, I
don't
know,
you?
bro. Yeah, I
If
know
he
that,
says
bro.
he's going to fight White next, he'll fight White next.
Yeah, he should fight White next.
I
Yeah,
agree.
That'll be good.
I agree.
Be a good fight.
Be a
Where
great
though?
fight.
Doesn't matter.
Vegas?
Oh,
Tyson's
outdoors, depends.
Huh?
Hey, listen, the thing with Vegas, remember, is that there's a new big arena there, the outdoor arena, the Allegiant Arena, 70-odd thousand people. Believe it or not, there's no American that helps sell that. Even Deontay Wilder wouldn't help sell that. Dillian White, bizarrely, against Tyson Fury, outdoors at the Allegiant, you'd get 40,000 Brits go over straight away, like Ricky had, 37,000.
Yeah.
They're all going to get tickets. They're not going to be watching on a big screen or in their hotel room. At the right time, without COVID restrictions, I swear you'd get 45,000 Brits go to Las Vegas to watch Tyson Fury against anybody. You throw Dillian White in the mix, and you throw Derek in the mix, you get an even bigger crowd.
The thing is with it all, though, Tyson's based in Vegas now. He loves it out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think all his fights are going to be there because that's where the money is, Derek.
You think so?
That's where the money is,
No,
mate.
I think money's in London.
Well,
Would you like to see him have a fight here, John? I know you're not involved with his business.
listen, I can't travel, so I'd love it here.
Yeah, of course
But he's got to do what he's got to do.
When that bell rings, it's going to be a war.